Hello, and thanks again for joining us with Release Works for our intuitive movement practice today. We've got Chris on the mat here again. Again, just start by setting your space. Find a quiet corner of your home, maybe even your office. Dim the lights and find a few pillows, maybe a blanket. And today, pull out your foam roller if you have one. And then let's get started. So we'll begin class today face down on your mat. Go ahead and stack your hands one on top of the other and place your forehead down on that. And as you do, start to bring your awareness, your attention to your breath, lengthening your inhales and your exhales. Maybe even taking a few of those exhales as a sigh out of your mouth. Eventually, if you haven't already, close your eyes, close your lips, and start to breathe exclusively through your nose. Bringing your awareness, your attention to that space just beneath the tip of your nose and just above your upper lip. Feeling the breath as it passes through. Anytime in class today where we're in stillness and your mind starts to wander, or we're in a challenge and your mind starts to wander, just bring your awareness back to this space, back to your breath, and settle in. We'll spend a little bit more time here. Enjoy. Now, before moving a muscle, just bring your awareness back to your breath and slowly start to introduce some gentle, intuitive movement. This might look like wiggling your fingers and your toes, maybe shaking your head yes or no, maybe rounding, rolling through your hips and back, shoulders. Take it as quick or as slow or as big or as small as you need. And in your next couple of breaths, and see if you can do this with your eyes closed. Reach your arms out in front of you and just start to feel around for your roller, your foam roller. Get a good feel for it. Maybe roll your hands or your forearms on it a little bit. Start to build a friendship or relationship with your self-treatment tool. Then when you're ready, start to bring your arms on top of that roller and roll it back towards your chest. As you lift your chest, Eventually you'll place that roller just beneath about the breastbone, maybe a little higher or lower, depending on your needs today. You might choose to rest your forearms on the roller or out in front for a sort of a modified Sphinx pose. And just for a moment, lift your chin up towards the ceiling. Really feel that arch through your back. Breathe and soften and settle into your lower back, your sacrum, your hips, all the way through to your feet. Let this be easy. And after you've spent a moment there, start to roll through your neck a bit, maybe through your shoulders. Maybe let your weight fall into the support of that roller even more. Focusing in on those areas of stuckness, a little bit of tenderness. Just pause, but be gentle as you breathe and soften into those spaces. Couple of breaths, start to finish up whatever movement, whatever you have going on here. Once you're ready, you can bring your forearms on top of your roller once again and start rolling it out in front of you. Letting your body fall back down onto your mat. Keep your forearms more or less on that roller as you do. And starting with the roller about midway through your forearm, we're going to do some Supermans. The roller is a bit of a prop. So on an inhale, bring your elbows down towards your ribs, keeping that roller underneath your forearms. Lift your chest, lift your chin. Really engage into the back body. On an exhale, go ahead and let that roll forward. And let your head and chest fall through your arms. Now you can keep on doing this as slow or as quick as you need to. Not only does this activate your back, but it also is a great way to roll out your forearms. So you might choose to keep your forearms palms down on the roller, or you might choose to flip one palm up and roll forward and back that way to get the back of your forearm as well. Take some time to explore here to build some heat, maybe even to sweat a little. more breaths here. Start to wrap up your movements. The next place we'll meet is hands and knees. So however that makes the most sense in your flow and your movement, maybe place your hands underneath your shoulders. Press yourself back up to hands and knees. And then just bring that roller in between your hands and your knees. There you go. Plant your hands more or less underneath your shoulders, your knees more or less underneath your hips. That roller will be about in between. We're going to start with child's pose here. So this will be our neutral. This is what we'll come back to between a few poses. But from here, go ahead and let that roller come out in front of you a bit. Sit your hips down towards your heels. You might choose to bring your knees close together or out wide. And then as you place your hands and your forearms on the roller, just start to roll your arms forward towards the head of your mat. Let your head and your chest drop open towards the floor. This is going to add a little bit more of a stretch down that shoulder and back and rib area. A little bit more through your chest as well. Remember here, it's easy to go too far, too hard, too fast. Be gentle with yourself. This doesn't need to look any specific way, but what it should do is feel good and helpful in your body. Your body should feel settled, like it's not fighting what you're trying to do. Stay connected with your breath here. Before moving a muscle, just reconnect with your breath. And if you aren't already, just find a few intuitive movements that feel good from here. That might mean lifting your hips and rolling forward through your arms. That might even mean tucking your toes and sitting back for a good foot stretch. Explore and enjoy that exploration. You might even keep rolling that roller towards you and rounding through your spine for a good cat-cow sort of motion. There you go. Good. Eventually, find your way back to hands and knees with that roller just in between the two. No rush to get there. When you do, maybe find a bit of an intuitive movement from here. We've practiced a bit, Maybe find a little arch and round through your spine for cat-cow. Maybe sway a little through your hips. You might roll through your neck or shoulders, or lift one arm and then the other. You might even choose to lift one leg or the other. Lots of options here. Remember here that you are your own best teacher. You're the only one that knows how it feels truly to live in your body. Let that guide you. Next couple of breaths, let's meet back at neutral, hands and knees, roller in between the two. Then bring that roller underneath your quads and come to sort of plank position on your forearms. Roller underneath your quads, there you go. And from here, you can start rolling forward and back and slowly just rolling through your quads. You might rotate one leg or the other. You might pause in a spot that feels a little tender or unmoving. And breathe and soften there. Remember that productive pain brings healing and it gathers resources to heal, while unproductive pain is just pain with no outcome or benefit. What are you doing here? Might you soften into something a little more therapeutic? Start to wrap up or find any last movements you need here. The next place we'll meet is just by rolling that roller right where the hips hinge, right where the hips flex. And then just softening over that, laying face down over the roller. You might be able to just roll it there and lay down, or you might have to come back to hands and knees and adjust. Once that roller is at about that hip hinge, best you can, let your upper body just settle down onto the ground. You might stack fists or forearms or hands for your forehead. Reconnect with your breath here. We're going to be here for a while. So start to notice, where does your mind go in the silence, in the stillness? New muscle, just reconnect with your breath once again. Start to wiggle through your fingers and your toes. Find a little bit of movement. And eventually just find your way back to your hands and your knees. No rush to get there. Make it a flow. Let it feel good. Let it be easy. Here, find a little bit of intuitive movement once again. Maybe work with what came up in that stillness, in that silence. Give that a little attention. Eventually come back to a neutral spine. Go ahead and inhale your right leg up and back. And just roll through your ankle, point and flex through your toes. Let that feel good. Eventually, on an exhale, go ahead and bring your right foot in between your hands, the front of your mat. Since there's a roller in the way, you might have to pick it up and place it there. That's okay. Then from here, with your right foot in between your hands, your left knee on the mat, roller in between the two. Go ahead and just heel toe your right foot over to the left. Let your knee drop out to the right. Then more or less straighten your back leg, letting that roller rest on the outside portion of your right thigh. From here, you might roll a little forward and back to roll through IT band, a little bit of hamstring. If you roll far enough forward, you might even get to roll into those glutes. As you roll forward to get more into your glutes, you might even plant your right foot again, and lift your knee and roll so you're facing the side of your mat. There you go. And again, follow what feels good to you. These are just suggestions, options, things that work for me sometimes. Remember, almost no one looks graceful with a roller. They're not really graceful tools. So it's okay to look silly. It's okay to fumble and fall, and it's all part of the journey, all part of the process. Have fun with it. Start to finish up here, and next place we'll meet is again in that lunge over your right leg. So planting your right foot in between your hands, lifting your knee, bringing your left knee to the mat. And then just go ahead and step your right foot back so you're on hands and knees once again. Find a little intuitive movement in between. And eventually lift your left leg up and back. Roll out through your ankle, point and flex through your toes. When you're ready, step your left foot forward in between your hands. Again, you might have to pick it up to get there. And from here, heel toe your left foot off to the right, let your left knee drop to the mat. From here, you can roll out the left outside thigh, glute, IT band, hamstring area. Each side's gonna feel a little different, and that's okay. Each day it's going to feel a little different, and that's okay too. breath and find the last few movements here that you need. And again, we'll meet back up in a lunge, a kneeling lunge over your left foot. So left foot between your hands, right knee on the mat. And just step your left foot back. So you're on hands and knees. Find a few intuitive movements here, and eventually you'll place that roller just at the head of your mat. Again, no rush. Once that roller's at the head of your mat, just scoot your knees towards your wrists, cross your ankles, and sit back to a seat. Eventually, just roll all the way down until you're laying face up on your mat. Grab that roller and put it underneath your knees. Once you lay back and settle in for a moment, you'll go ahead and place your feet directly on top of that roller. You might bring it out a little more or closer in towards your glutes. Once you find the spot that's right for you, place your hands to your sides, palms facing down as an anchor, and inhale, press your hips up for a glute bridge. Good. Breathe here. And exhale, lower. Take a few more of these at your pace. Might feel good to go quickly through a few. Might feel good to sit and linger at the top of that glute bridge. Maybe even lift one foot. If you have socks on, that might be a little dangerous. You might slip. But explore and have fun. All of these exercises aren't meant to feel good to everyone. So take what feels good and leave the rest. Follow what your body feels. Start to wrap that up. And eventually just bring that roller underneath your knees once again. Laying comfortably, face up on your mat. Take out a few more wiggles or intuitive movements until eventually you're just laying comfortably on your mat. Legs resting on the roller like a bolster underneath your knees. Close your eyes if they're not closed already. Focus on your breath. Pain, hurt, discomfort, all aid in growth, in change. Growth is painful, change is painful, but nothing is as painful as staying stuck somewhere that you don't belong. So with that, let's take a few deep cleansing breaths together. Excuse me. On your next inhale, bring your left hand to your chest, your right hand to your belly. And inhale deeply into your belly, into your diaphragm, into your chest, all the way to the top. And exhale with a sigh when you're there. Good. Let's take one last cleansing breath all together. So on your next inhale, inhale deep through your belly, through your diaphragm, through your chest. Sip in a little more air at the top and hold. And sigh. Thank you so much for joining us today for our intuitive movement practice with ReleaseWorks. We'd love to hear how your practice went and answer any questions that might come up. So reach out, and we look forward to speaking with you soon.